Hi, hello. We're here with Vojta Diatka, CEO of Biometric Ventures.
Hello.
Biometric Ventures was established as an independent investment company from Innovatrix. How does this heritage uniquely shape your core mission, and what is the single most compelling problem you are aiming to solve for the future of digital identity and security?
Biometric Ventures has been started by Jan Lunter, the founder of and CEO of Innovatrix, because he thought there should be an investment fund focusing solely on biometrics. So this heritage really influences us a lot, because when it comes to our focus, we either look at companies that develop some biometric technology, like AI algorithms and stuff, like their own facial recognition, for example, or their own palm recognition and such. But as you can understand, then the scope is very narrow. There aren't that many companies that do this. So we also enlarge the scope by including companies that leverage biometric technology for some of their features. So they aren't biometric companies themselves. For example, a fintech investment platform that needs their users verified is a good example. Not a biometric company, but we invested in them. And this is a blessing on one hand and a curse on the other, right? So blessing in the sense that whenever there is a match, whenever a company actually wants to use biometrics, then we are a great match on one hand. On the other hand, the curse part is that actually building this investment pipeline at the very beginning is limited, because we really want to see just companies which sort of deal with biometrics.
Okay, what is your long term vision for the biometric technology landscape, and where does Biometric Ventures expect to be a key market disruptor or facilitator over next 5 years?
The main thing that biometrics delivers to the world is verifying the identity of humans such as yourself and myself, because it deals in like what we actually are, right? It sees your face and says it is you, or it can take a fingerprint and really confirms that it's you. And this like identity verification has been important in the past, and we strongly believe that it will be super important and much more important in the future, because the more you digitalize, the more you move everything, including like the state services and like all sorts of like products, the more of it you move online, the more you are in need of biometric technology or something to verify the user's identity, and biometrics is there to help. So we really see a strong surge in such use cases. One example is EU, which is very strong on regulation, as we all know. But even though it has like the GDPR, there are very strong privacy concerns, EU AI Act and everything. So biometrics actually has a very tough time in the EU on one hand. On the other hand, EU introduced recently in October this year biometric border control for non-EU travelers. So EU is increasingly also like supporting. They enroll these non-EU travelers. They enroll their face. They store the picture of the face, and they also store the fingerprint. So even such a big entity which is in general like opposing such technology is embracing it for some use cases. So we really see one of the important drivers. And when it comes to like other trends, one of the most important trends which we have to tackle somehow using biometrics is deepfakes, like the videos or photos, because Gen AI is getting better and better at generating pictures and videos that actually look like human beings, and biometrics is supposed to be there to somehow combat this and prove that the people in the video or in the photo are actually who they are.
Your mission focuses on supporting early stage biometric startups. How do you work with startups?
We are early stage investor, so we usually invest in pre-seed, sometimes in seed as well, depending on the valuation. Our valuations range between 1 1 to like 5 million euros roughly. The average size of our ticket is 100,000 euro, and we usually bundle up our investment with biometric credits, so our companies can leverage biometric technology from our mother company Innovatrix, and which really fuels their growth, right? Because they don't need to come up with an algorithm; it's ready made. They just built it into their product. So yeah, this is the and besides the biometric technology credits, they also have access to like technology expertise in biometrics and a product expertise in Innovatrix.
Interesting. And how do you identify which companies have the potential to transform the industry?
That's a great question. That's a question which all the VCs get quite often, and it's a very important one. So, given that we are in the early stage, the product is important to some extent, but we know that the early stage companies, they tend to pivot a lot. They keep switching and changing. They create an MVP, then they test it in the market. They get back to the drawing board. They rebuild everything, right? So the product tends to change. So what we are focusing on in this early stage is people, the founders, the founding team. This is the most crucial thing, to be there, to talk to them, to get to know them, to understand what drives them, why are they in it, like what kind of problem they discovered that they want to solve for people. And I have, like, related to this, I have like one thing I'm really like to look at, which I call like a hustling metric, which is we start talking to a startup, and it can take sometimes a month if we are in a hurry, or it can take even like 2 or 3 months before we invest. And during this time, I tend to talk to the startup and the founders a lot, and I would really like to see the progress, right, from the time when we started talking to plus 1 month, let's say. I really would like to see that company has achieved a lot. They talked to many prospects, or they closed many more customers. They tested this and that. So this kind of like hustling mindset, when they really like to achieve a lot and do a lot of things, that try many different things. So this is this is one thing in particular I'm looking to find in founders.
The portfolio includes startups working on fingerprint, facial, iris, and palm recognition. Which of these areas do you see as most promising for widespread adoptions in the next 5 years?
When we are talking about startups, like the most stable one, let's say, is facial recognition, the traditional standard KYC, where people show the photo of their ID, they click a picture of their face, and then our technology compares the two and verifies that the person in front of the device is actually the person on the ID. This is one of the most common products we offer to startups. So this like facial recognition is always been there, and it's gonna be there for sure. For example, when it comes to fingerprint and iris, I don't see that many startups in this space. Like fingerprint is quite an like old modality and like high security, so not sure why, 100% why, but there aren't that many startups, and also in iris like recognition. Even though I've definitely seen some, but not that many. And the interesting modality is the palm recognition, which Innovatrix has a new algorithm for. This is the newest modality for us, and we see it's getting traction. We see some companies that are interested in it, and why. The reason for that is that when it comes to, if we compare the most widespread modality face compared to the palm one, then people always hesitate when it comes to facial biometrics. It's something intimate, private. There are many of your pictures circulating on the internet, on Facebook or other platforms. So people are hesitant to adopt face-based biometrics. But when it comes to Palm, the privacy works much better, the privacy message, because simply there aren't that many pictures, good enough pictures of your palm on the internet. So people are much more comfortable sharing their palm and using it, for example, on a scanner to enter a building or some premises. And currently we are talking to one startup that works in like palm scanning device space, like hardware stuff. So the palm seems to be one of the like sort of racing modalities in biometrics.
What startup in your portfolio are you most proud of, and tell us why?
It's they are called Vouchsafe, and it's a startup based in the UK. When they started, their mission was to make KYC, or Know Your Customer, accessible to even to people that don't have a valid ID or passport, which is the case in the UK. There are many millions of people in the UK alone who don't have a valid ID, and then for them it's difficult to verify their identity online. They can't take a picture of their ID. So what do you do with them? So they came up with a biometric vouching feature, which is a great idea and great twist. Let's say that's why we picked them in the first place. And through this feature, you pick a different citizen in the UK who has the ID. That person goes through the biometric check or verification, and this person vouches for the person which doesn't have the ID, right? This is a company which we invested in half a year ago, approximately, and I'm proud of them because they since then they made tremendous progress. When we invested, they had 0 paying customers, 0 ARR, annual recurring revenue, and currently they have approximately half a year later, they have 27 paying customers who are interested in their solution, and they're actually using their solution, and they have over 100,000 pounds ARR. So this is one of the great examples of like companies that we work with and that they are successful.
Access to Innovatrix proprietary high-performing biometric technology is a unique value proposition. How do you strategically match your portfolio startup with Innovatrix resources, and how critical is this technological partnerships to the founders' early stage success and product differentiation?
Like for us, this is a crucial USP. When you look at us as an investor, as a VC fund, for VCs, they need to stand out as well. There are many generalist VCs out there in the market which focus on fintech or fintech, clean tech, energy tech. So they are like super generalistic. So very many companies fall into their scope. And then if you have many generalist VCs who want to invest, it's difficult sometimes to explain your worth, like why you are the one generalist VC that should join. They usually say we have great business people which will support you with the business sales and yada yada. We have community of builders and mentors, yada yada yada. But there's no great differentiator. In our case, we have a really great difference because we have the biometric expertise, and we have the, as you said, we have access to top-notch biometric technology like Innovatrix. There's this independent benchmarking institution in the US called NIST, and Innovatrix. It keeps changing all the time, of course. Various biometric providers, it changes who's the first, but Innovatrix has been first for some time on iris accuracy in the world. We have been first for some time on the age estimation algorithms. So Innovatrix really offers like top-notch and competitive biometric technology. So for these companies, for the startups, to get access to this technology is a great like step in the sense that it really fuels their growth. And most of our companies are in the companies that develop their own biometric technology. Most of our companies are actually focusing on something else. So for them, not having to develop anything in this field and just take the algorithm and use it, it's a great opportunity, and it really flies whenever there's a use case. I could give you one example. Recently, we've invested into a company called Metis, which creates a device which is attached to a windshield inside the car. There's one camera observing the road and second camera observing the interior of the car. And this device assesses to what extent does a driver follow traffic rules. This is it's not a biometric company at all. It's focusing on mobility and checking like the drivers, and it's a different field. But for them, biometrics is important for like multiple use cases to actually verify and see who is behind the wheel. Because in some cases it doesn't matter, but in many cases you really want to know who's driving, like ride hailing, insurance use cases, carpooling, and car sharing. Like so there are like many such use cases. So I think it's a great value added from us.
As biometrics became more integrated into daily life, ethical use, data privacy, and regulatory compliance are paramount concerns. How does Biometric Ventures guide its startups to navigate these complexities and ensuring they build trust and practice responsible innovation from day one?
That's an important question. We don't, as Biometric Ventures, we don't get involved like in like hands-on way that we would be sort of like guiding and telling the companies what to do, what to avoid. I mean, it's mostly about and I will reiterate what I said before. It's about the people. So when we are assessing the team and talking to the founders, understanding the product and see what they actually want to achieve. So this is the place where we sort of figure out if this is some kind of a evil spying machine, or if it's a product that fosters trust and creates a more trustworthy world, right? And so far we haven't had any kind of like dark pattern usage of biometrics in our startups, and we wouldn't invest in such a company. So this happens there at the very beginning. We haven't seen over the course of time that some company like would switch and start doing this, but I understand the question, because like so many people are concerned, and when I talk to people about my work, people who don't understand biometrics and don't work with it, most of the people saying, okay, so you are spying on people, there are cameras in the streets and they are checking me when I'm getting a beer on a square where I shouldn't have the beer. But this is like most of our use cases within Biometric Ventures, which we work on, are very far from this like spying on people or like governmental use cases. In 100% of cases, it's like products that build trust. Uh, I can give you one more example. Currently, we are talking to an interesting company based in South Africa, and they want to offer carpooling services there, like long distance traveling, right? Buses, there are no proper like train connections. Buses, long distance bus transport doesn't work that well, and this company would like to work carpooling. So there are drivers who drive alone, covering long distances, and they want to offer their car for someone to join as a passenger and pay them a little bit. And the founders of this company, I talked to them multiple times, and for them, the trust between the driver and the passenger is like absolutely crucial. They say that in Africa it's dangerous, or that people understand it's dangerous. It's difficult to trust the driver, or for driver to trust the passengers. So once you plug in biometrics, you verify the identities. So you have the pictures of their IDs. You actually see that these people are who they say they are. It really makes such product possible, and like there's no so these are more the use cases we are interested in. So I'm happy I could have clarified it, that it's about use cases, building trust, and the spying or like bad pattern use cases doesn't really come that much my way, and we wouldn't invest in such a thing.
On a different topic, tell us, how was the last year 2025 for Biometric Ventures?
It was a great year. We had the highest number of investments so far in a single year. We made for investments. We succeeded in fulfilling our plan, which is always good. We invested in 3 startups and 1 VC fund to diversify the risk, like of course. But there's like the best Slovak VC called 0100 Ventures. So we co-invested with them. So this year has been very successful from this perspective, that there's been simply enough high quality leads, which allowed us to invest everything we planned, and at the same time we already have a pipeline ready for the next year. Simply we didn't have, our budget wasn't large enough to invest into all the opportunities we were interested in. So for us also this year has been also like focusing on like portfolio consolidation. So now as a fund, as a VC fund, I started focusing more like on more like administrative tasks, let's say, such as startup reporting and creating some dashboards, talking more regularly to our startups, following their progress and stuff. But yes, this year has been the best one so far for Biometric Ventures. So I'm really optimistic and stoked for the next year, 2026.
Great to hear that. Congratulations. If you were to make a bold predictions, what specific currently nascent area within biometrics, perhaps related to AI, decentralization, or a new hardware capability, do you anticipate will generate the next significant breakthrough and be the focus of your work in 2026 or 2027 even?
So regarding prediction, the one of the, let's say, more and more startups keeps popping up in the field of AI deepfakes and how to handle AI deepfakes, because that's a big thing. Everyone is aware of that, right? And there are many startups tackling this. This, I think, is going to be one of the focus, one of the focuses for us in the next year. There are two ways how to handle this problem. So you have a fake video, right? Which there are some people who say some things, but it's not them. How to solve it? And I've seen two approaches. One approach is having some kind of deepfake detection algorithm. So you have the video, you feed it into that algorithm, and this algorithm tells you this is deepfake and this is not. I'm not sure I really believe in this approach. It's been an issue in the past, and there are like many algorithms that, for example, evaluate if a given text has been created by ChatGPT or some Gen AI agent or not, and these algorithms are notoriously not reliable. So I would say this is a similar kind of task to assess if the video is a deepfake or not after it's been created. It's like very difficult to tackle. Maybe I'm gonna be surprised, but let's see. The other approach to AI deepfakes, which I like more, and I'm talking to multiple startups about, is to sort of watermark or stamp the content at the moment of its creation. So imagine you are an influencer, you create a video, or you create this interview here. At the moment of creation, we sort of put a stamp of like some kind of assurance that like that, or sign it, or some kind of like watermark that this has been created by now. It's been created by us, and one of the steps in this is definitely like biometrics. So you should show your face to the device where it has been created and confirm, me, Vojta, you, Danica, I am here, and I have created this content. So I'm talking to multiple startups that deal with this deepfake problem in this way. So I think this is one of the most important like challenges which we are about to face. Second one, you mentioned hardware as well. I noticed there are many startups focusing on making edge devices smaller, more power efficient. So there's going to be more and more hardware devices that will be able to run also sophisticated biometric algorithms on such devices as glasses. That's a new thing. Facebook is now pushing a lot for its glasses, and I talked to one company that's producing like super small processors, chips that can run sophisticated algorithms, including biometrics on such a small device with a weak battery. And the third thing which is happening, which I already mentioned, is this regulatory move, even within European Union, where there would be more and more need for the biometric technology for some of the use cases to really make sure to, for example, maintain the security and such things.
Thank you for having you here.
Thank you very much. It was a great interview.